Versatile Mage. Chapter 335. The Giant Beast in the Swamp. Sigh. Such a pity for her to leave like that. Captain, why didn't you say anything? I don't think it would hurt to let her stay. Huang Juoxi's mind was still filled with the woman's deep cleavage. He just could not understand how her skinny waist was able to support her incredible bust. Guess she trained herself a lot in the wild. Can your brain be useful for once? Aren't you aware that something isn't right here? Hong Niao snapped furiously. Something isn't right. There isn't a single giant lizard here. Isn't that good news? Said Huang Juoxi. Humph me, is your brain full of shit? The density of giant lizards in this place is estimated to be 1 every 10 square meters. However, we've not seen a single one along the way. What does that imply? It means there's something so terrifying here that all the servant-class giant lizards are too scared to get close. Hong Niao was absolutely furious. Why did he decide to join a bunch of brain-dead teammates? The group finally realized that something was indeed out of place here. They quickly scanned the darkness around them. The center of the valley was an uplifted area. If the swampy area, which took up 70% of the valley, was considered a lake, the uplifted area could be described as an island in the middle of the lake. They had stuck to their plan and come all the way here without stumbling into any danger. They were so close to reaching the area. The information they received had mentioned that an earth element soul seed, flowing mud, was right in the middle of the valley. There was indeed a strong earth element presence nearby. There must be a soul seed being nurtured in the middle of the swamp. They had put so much effort in just to acquire the soul seed. As such, any potential danger was treated as everything would be fine as long as they were careful enough. They couldn't help it, as the soul seed was too huge of an incentive to them. We're here, what should we do now? Asked Captain Liang Dachui. I'll investigate our surroundings first, said Hong Niao. The group of hunters had reached the land in the middle of the swamp. Their surroundings were still clear of giant lizards. Maybe they had gone somewhere else to take a nap. Hong Niao took out an aluminum container. He explained to the group while setting up the special tool, this is an element detector. By inserting it into the ground, we'll be able to distinguish the ratio of elements within a kilometer. This land is soaked in the swamp, thus it should be showing a balanced ratio of brown, which represents the earth element, and blue, which represents the water element. If the result leans towards dark brown, it implies that the area is strong in the earth element, therefore the soul seed should be within a kilometer of the device. Alright, we're magicians, not scientists. We don't need to know the details, said Huang Juoxi impatiently. Humph, Hong Niao wore a disdainful look. Who told you that magicians don't need to use their brains? Who said that magicians don't need to learn how to use different tools? This is strange. The result was out fairly quickly. Hong Niao blurted out, staring at the blank screen on the element detector. What is it? Asked Captain Liang Dachui. The rest of the team came closer too, eager to know if there was any treasure nearby. Why doesn't it show any color? Didn't you say it's supposed to be brown and blue? Huang Juoxi went up to the device and stared at the empty screen. Hong Niao was confused too. He quickly checked the device. Why isn't there any color? It is just ordinary land. The device should at least show brown, but why is it showing nothing? Didn't that mean the land is not showing any elemental reaction? This doesn't make sense scientifically. No, magically. Is this thing broken? Huang Juoxi laughed. He was never fond of devices like that. Impossible. Let me try again, said Hong Niao. If it was land, it should have earth elements reaction. Either the device is broken, or this ground. By the way, do any of you feel that we're rising? Someone blurted out among the group. Hong Niao, who was about to use the device again, suddenly had a pale face. The hands holding the device began to tremble violently. The device was not broken, but it still failed to detect any reaction. Everything in the world was basically made of some elements, but the only thing that would not show a reaction would be a living thing. A roar so powerful that it could shake the entire valley erupted suddenly. The sound was extremely close to the group. It felt like it was occurring right beside their ears. Their eardrums were almost destroyed, while they felt like their brains were about to explode. The first one to realize the truth was Hong Niao, whose mind was instantly overwhelmed with fear. He could not even move his body. Following the roar, the land in the middle of the swamp rose rapidly. It escaped the swamp and rose into the air. The giant body previously concealed under the swamp was exposed. It was huge enough to stir a great tide in the middle of the swamp. The land began to tilt sideways as the giant black beast stood up. As it stood up, the island turned out to be its backbone. The earth and mud rapidly came loose from its giant body. Its massive frame stood under the dim night sky. As the moonlight shone upon the enormous silhouette, the part which was exposed above the mud resulted in an epic scene. The tiny humans on the giant beast's back were utterly terrified. They never thought they were actually stepping on the back of a giant beast. They completely lost their minds. Some who were quicker in response immediately cast spells to aid their escape. However, the beast was long aware of these intruders' presence. With just a slight shudder, it shook the humans off its back with ease. Its movement was not too quick, but its size was enormous. A single step from it was able to cover the distance of a wind magician's wind path. Liang Dachui, Hong Niao, Huang Juosi and the rest never thought they would be stepping into the jaws of death themselves. Even magic could not save them as they fell through the air. Everything had happened too quickly. The place fell silent fairly quickly. The group of elite magicians had only seen the giant beast's backbone before they were devoured by darkness without a hint of struggle. For a few seconds, there were screams and shouts, but now the giant black beast was slowly sinking into the swamp again. The entire place returned to calm, as if nothing had actually happened. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.